The Amazon rainforest is not only a marvel of scale, but a living engine of planetary health, orchestrating a symphony of ecological processes that sustain life far beyond its borders. Its vast expanse, stretching over 5.5 million square kilometers, is a tapestry of interwoven habitats, each layer contributing to a complex, self-regulating system that breathes life into the atmosphere. The Amazon's canopy forms a living shield, intercepting sunlight and modulating temperature, while beneath, a labyrinth of branches, vines, and epiphytes creates a multi-tiered world where energy and nutrients are exchanged in a perpetual cycle. This immense forest is a mosaic of microclimates, each shaped by subtle variations in elevation, soil composition, and water availability. The Amazon's influence radiates outward, shaping weather patterns and atmospheric currents across the continent. At its heart, the Amazon River and its tributaries act as the lifeblood of the forest, their seasonal rhythms dictating the pulse of growth, decay, and renewal. These waterways transport not only water but dissolved nutrients and organic matter, fueling the productivity of the entire ecosystem. During the wet season, vast tracts of forest become submerged, creating vasia and igapo habitats where aquatic and terrestrial life intermingle. This seasonal flooding redistributes nutrients, supports unique plant communities, and enables the forest to act as a dynamic reservoir of biodiversity. The Amazon's soils, though often nutrient-poor, are enriched by the constant recycling of organic material. Fungi and bacteria break down fallen leaves and wood, releasing minerals that are rapidly absorbed by the dense root networks of trees and understory plants. The forest's vertical structure is a marvel of adaptation. Epiphytes, such as orchids and bromeliads, anchor themselves high in the canopy, capturing moisture and nutrients from the air, while lianas and vines spiral upward in search of sunlight, forming living bridges between trees. Through the microscopic pores of their leaves, Amazonian plants engage in transpiration, releasing billions of tons of water vapor into the atmosphere each year. This vapor ascends, condensing to form clouds that drive regional and even global rainfall patterns. The Amazon's trees are unparalleled in their ability to capture and store carbon. Through photosynthesis, they draw carbon dioxide from the air, converting it into complex organic molecules that are locked away in wood, roots, and soil for centuries. This process not only generates oxygen, but also moderates atmospheric carbon levels, acting as a buffer against the accelerating impacts of climate change. The Amazon's role as a carbon sink is critical to the stability of the Earth's climate system. On the forest floor, a hidden world of decomposers transforms dead plant material into fertile soil. This rapid nutrient cycling supports the explosive growth of new vegetation, ensuring the forest's resilience in the face of disturbance. The Amazon's layered architecture, from the towering emergent trees to the shaded understory, creates a multitude of ecological niches. Each stratum harbors distinct plant communities adapted to varying light, moisture, and nutrient conditions. The interplay between vegetation and atmosphere is a finely tuned feedback loop. As trees transpire, they cool the air and increase humidity, which in turn promotes further cloud formation and precipitation, sustaining the forest's lushness even during dry spells. The Amazon's capacity to generate its own rainfall is a phenomenon unique among terrestrial ecosystems. This self-sustaining hydrological cycle is vital not only for the forest itself, but for agricultural regions and water supplies across South America. Moisture-laden air masses, borne over the Amazon, are carried by prevailing winds across the continent, delivering rain to distant grasslands, mountains, and even semi-arid regions. This atmospheric river is a lifeline for millions of organisms and ecosystems. The Amazon's rivers and streams are intricately linked to the forest's hydrology. Their seasonal rise and fall sculpt the landscape, create habitats for specialized plant species, and regulate the flow of nutrients throughout the ecosystem. The Amazon's atmospheric influence extends globally by modulating the exchange of heat, moisture, and gases between land and sky, It helps stabilize weather patterns and mitigate the extremes of drought and flood on a planetary scale. The forest's extraordinary plant diversity underpins its ecological functions. From towering cebus and kapoks to delicate understory herbs, each species contributes to the cycling of water, carbon and nutrients while supporting intricate food webs. Many Amazonian plants have evolved remarkable adaptations, such as buttress roots for stability in shallow soils, or waxy leaves to shed excess water, enabling them to thrive in the ever-changing conditions of the rainforest. The Amazon's flora is a living laboratory of chemical innovation. Countless plant species produce unique compounds, alkaloids, resins, and essential oils that deter herbivores, attract pollinators, and mediate complex ecological interactions. Some plants, like the giant Victoria water lily, have adapted to floating life on floodwaters, while others, such as strangler figs, begin as epiphytes and eventually envelop their host trees, reshaping the forest's architecture over decades. The Amazon's green lungs are powered by a web of symbiotic relationships. Mycorrhizal fungi form partnerships with tree roots, enhancing nutrient uptake, while nitrogen-fixing plants enrich the soil, supporting the growth of neighboring species. In this living cathedral of green, every leaf, root, and spore plays a role in the grand choreography of life. The Amazon's intricate ecological processes, unparalleled plant diversity, and atmospheric interactions make it the beating heart of the planet's respiratory system, a vital force whose preservation is essential for the health of Earth itself. The Amazon rainforest is a living mosaic where every inch pulses with astonishing diversity. From the shadowy depths of the forest floor to the sunlit heights of the canopy, life has carved out countless niches, each brimming with unique forms and behaviors. The canopy, a tangled roof of leaves and branches, is a world suspended in mid-air. Here, sunlight filters through in shifting patterns, nurturing a vibrant community of epiphytes, plants like orchids and bromeliads that cling to branches, drawing moisture from the humid air. Each layer of the forest, from the emergent giants towering above to the dim understory below, supports its own specialized inhabitants. Vines and lianas snake upward, providing highways for agile creatures and connecting microhabitats across the vertical expanse. In the upper reaches, bromeliads form miniature ponds in their leaf axils, creating aquatic microhabitats where tiny frogs, insects, and even small crustaceans thrive, isolated from the world below. Agile mammals like tamarins and squirrel monkeys leap between branches, their social groups weaving through the foliage in search of fruit, nectar, and insects. Each species occupies a distinct feeding niche, reducing competition and allowing for remarkable coexistence. Spider monkeys, with their prehensile tails and elongated limbs, are perfectly adapted for life in the treetops, rarely descending to the ground. Their movements stir up insects, which in turn attract flocks of insectivorous birds. Howler monkeys, meanwhile, fill the air with resonant calls that travel for miles, marking territory and maintaining group cohesion in the dense green labyrinth. The trees themselves are marvels of adaptation. Some, like the walking palm, slowly shift their roots to seek sunlight, while others, such as the strangler fig, envelop host trees in a slow embrace, eventually replacing them entirely. With nearly 400 billion trees representing thousands of species, the Amazon's botanical diversity is unrivaled. Each tree species supports its own suite of insects, fungi, and epiphytes, forming intricate webs of dependency. Towering above the canopy, the kapok tree serves as a vital nesting site for scarlet macaws and harpy eagles. Its massive branches host entire communities, from bromeliads to arboreal rodents. Beneath this green cathedral, the forest floor is a realm of perpetual twilight. Here, decomposition reigns supreme as fungi and bacteria break down fallen leaves, recycling nutrients back into the ecosystem. Armies of leafcutter ants traverse the ground in endless columns, each worker carrying a fragment of leaf overhead like a tiny parasol. Deep underground, these ants cultivate vast fungal gardens, feeding the colony and supporting a microcosm of symbiotic bacteria and specialized mites that depend on this subterranean world. The Amazon is a showcase of symbiosis. Leafcutter ants rely on their cultivated fungus, while the fungus depends on the ants for nourishment and dispersal. Elsewhere, certain tree-hopper insects secrete honeydew, attracting protective ants that fend off predators in exchange for this sugary reward. Sloths, draped in green-tinged fur, host entire communities of algae, beetles, and moths. This living camouflage not only conceals them from predators, but also provides nutrients for their miniature tenants. Feeding on tough leaves, sloths have evolved slow metabolisms and specialized stomachs, allowing them to extract nutrients from a diet few others can digest. Toucans, with their oversized beaks, pluck fruit from the tips of slender branches unreachable by other birds. Their beaks also help regulate body temperature, a crucial adaptation in the steamy rainforest. By adjusting blood flow to their beaks, toucans can dissipate excess heat, maintaining a stable internal temperature despite the sweltering humidity. Adaptations abound. Glass frogs with translucent skin blend seamlessly into leaves, while armored armadillos roll into impenetrable balls at the first sign of danger. Even the smallest interactions reveal complexity. Certain orchids mimic the scent of female bees, luring males to pollinate their flowers in a delicate dance of deception. Along riverbanks, butterflies cluster on basking turtles, drawn by the promise of precious minerals. With delicate precision, they sip salty tears, extracting nutrients vital for reproduction and survival. This behavior, known as lacryphagy, is just one example of the ingenious strategies animals employ to thrive in nutrient-poor environments. Poisoned dart frogs, resplendent in electric hues, warn would-be predators of their potent toxins, which are derived from the ants and termites they consume. Their skin, a living chemical arsenal, is both shield and signal, ensuring their survival in a world of constant peril. From the tiniest springtail leaping through leaf litter to the mighty jaguar stalking the shadows, every organism in the Amazon is woven into a vast, dynamic tapestry, a testament to the relentless creativity of evolution and the boundless possibilities of life. Deep within the emerald labyrinth of the Amazon, a silent contest unfolds every hour. A contest defined by razor-sharp instincts, evolutionary arms races, and the relentless pursuit of survival. Here, the rainforest's fiercest hunters have evolved extraordinary adaptations, each uniquely suited to the challenges of this complex and unforgiving environment. The jaguar, Panther onca, reigns as the undisputed monarch of the Amazon's predators. Unlike any other big cat, the jaguar's hunting strategy is a blend of patience, raw power, and anatomical precision. It stalks through tangled undergrowth, its rosette-patterned coat rendering it nearly invisible in the dappled light. The jaguar's padded paws allow it to move in utter silence, closing the distance to its prey with calculated stealth. When the moment is right, the jaguar launches a swift, explosive attack. Its jaws, among the most powerful in the animal kingdom, are uniquely adapted to pierce bone and shell. This allows the jaguar to target armored prey, such as yellow-spotted river turtles and even caimans, biting directly through the skull or carapace to deliver an instant, fatal blow. The jaguar's versatility is unmatched. It hunts capybaras grazing at the water's edge, monkeys leaping through the canopy, and even fish darting beneath the surface. Its ability to adapt its hunting technique to each prey species is a testament to its evolutionary mastery. In the watery arteries of the rainforest, the black caiman, Melanasuchus niger, lurks as a shadowy giant. This apex predator is a master of ambush, using its dark, rugged scales to blend seamlessly with the murky riverbanks. The caiman's hunting strategy is defined by patience and explosive force. It remains motionless for hours, eyes and nostrils just above the water, waiting for the telltale vibrations of a capybara or a wading bird. When prey approaches, the caiman erupts from the water in a burst of speed, jaws snapping shut with a force capable of crushing bone. Its infamous death roll, a rapid, twisting maneuver, disorients and drowns its victim, ensuring a swift kill. The caiman's diet is broad, ranging from fish and aquatic birds to mammals and even other reptiles. In rare instances, young caimans fall prey to giant otters or anacondas, illustrating the complex web of predation that defines the Amazon's waterways. The green anaconda, Eunectes murinus, is the silent titan of the flooded forests and slow-moving rivers. As the world's heaviest snake, the anaconda's hunting relies on stealth and brute strength. It spends much of its life submerged, nostrils barely breaking the surface, waiting for the vibrations of an unsuspecting animal. When a prey animal, such as a capybara, caiman, or even a wading bird, ventures too close, the anaconda strikes with astonishing speed, coiling its muscular body around the victim. The anaconda's constriction is a marvel of evolutionary engineering. With each exhale of its prey, the snake tightens its grip, cutting off circulation and air until the animal succumbs. Unlike many predators, the anaconda can go weeks or even months between meals, its metabolism finely tuned to the unpredictable rhythms of the rainforest. Its ability to hunt both in water and on land makes it a formidable and unpredictable threat to a wide range of species. Not all of the Amazon's fiercest hunters are giants. The red piranha, Pygocentris natereri, is a small but formidable predator whose reputation is built on teamwork and efficiency. Piranhas hunt in coordinated schools, using rapid, synchronized movements to isolate and overwhelm prey. Their interlocking, razor-sharp teeth can shear through flesh and bone with astonishing speed. During the dry season, when food is scarce and water levels drop, piranha schools become even more aggressive, targeting weakened or isolated animals that venture into shrinking pools. The Amazon's canopy is home to the great horned owl, Bubo virginianus, a master of nocturnal predation. With eyes adapted to the faintest glimmers of moonlight, the owl can detect the slightest movement from high above. Its wings are lined with specialized feathers that muffle sound, allowing it to swoop down in total silence. The owl's talons are engineered for precision and power, capable of snatching rodents, bats, and even small monkeys from the treetops. Each hunt is a calculated ambush, relying on acute hearing and pinpoint timing. Among the smaller but equally specialized hunters are the Amazonian giant centipede and the bullet ant. The centipede, Scolopendra gigantea, is an agile nocturnal predator that preys on insects, amphibians, and even small birds. It uses venomous fangs to subdue its victims, injecting a potent toxin that paralyzes and digests tissue. The bullet ant, Paraponera clavata, is renowned for its powerful sting, which it uses to defend its territory and subdue prey. These invertebrate hunters play crucial roles in controlling insect populations and recycling nutrients on the forest floor. Predator-prey relationships in the Amazon are shaped by a constant interplay of adaptation and counter-adaptation. Capybaras, for example, have developed social behaviors and alarm calls to detect and evade jaguars and caimans. Monkeys use complex vocalizations and coordinated group movements to avoid raptors and snakes. Even the sloth, seemingly defenseless, relies on camouflage and slow, deliberate movements to avoid detection by eagles and big cats. The Amazon's fiercest hunters are not merely takers of life, they are architects of balance. Their presence regulates prey populations, prevents outbreaks of disease, and maintains the intricate web of biodiversity that defines this extraordinary wilderness. Each predator, from the silent owl to the mighty jaguar, is a living testament to the relentless ingenuity of evolution and the perpetual drama of survival in the world's greatest rainforest. The Amazon rainforest, a realm of unparalleled biodiversity and intricate ecological relationships, stands at a pivotal moment in its long history. Its future is shaped by a delicate interplay of natural forces and mounting environmental pressures, each weaving a complex narrative of vulnerability and resilience. The forest's greatest threat is the relentless loss of its ancient trees. As vast swathes of canopy vanish, the intricate web of life below is exposed to harsh sunlight, altered microclimates, and the slow unraveling of centuries-old ecological balance. The scars left behind are not merely physical. They echo through every layer of the ecosystem. Beyond the loss of trees, the transformation of forest into barren land disrupts the ancient cycles of water and nutrients. Once rich soils, stripped of their protective cover, become vulnerable to erosion and compaction, while rivers and streams, once shaded and cool, run muddy and warm, altering aquatic habitats and silencing the chorus of amphibians and fish. The fragmentation of the forest creates isolated patches, severing the natural corridors that once allowed species to migrate, forage, and breed. This isolation weakens genetic diversity, making populations more susceptible to disease and environmental change, and threatening the survival of rare and specialized species. The aftermath of destruction lingers in the air. Ash settles on once vibrant leaves, and the silence of vanished creatures haunts the empty burrows and hollow logs. The loss of keystone species, from towering trees to elusive predators, reverberates through the food web, destabilizing the entire ecosystem. The Amazon's climate is shifting. Prolonged droughts parch the land, draining the lifeblood from rivers and streams. Trees, once adapted to abundant rainfall, struggle to survive in the face of relentless heat and water scarcity, their roots exposed and branches stripped bare. As the land dries, dust storms sweep across exposed riverbeds, and isolated pools of stagnant water become the last refuge for aquatic life. The once verdant canopy browns and thins, leaving the forest floor vulnerable to the encroachment of invasive grasses and the ever-present threat of fire. Fire, once a rare visitor, now sweeps through weakened forests, consuming undergrowth and leaving behind a landscape of charred trunks and ashen soil. The delicate balance of moisture and life is replaced by a cycle of destruction and slow, uncertain recovery. The boundaries between rainforest and savanna blur as dry, open grasslands encroach upon the shrinking forest. Isolated trees stand as sentinels in a changing landscape, their roots clinging to the last vestiges of moisture and shade. In these transformed regions, the absence of shelter and food spells the end for countless species. Nests lie empty, eggs unhatched, and the skeletal remains of ancient trees mark the passing of an era. Yet, even in the wake of devastation, the Amazon reveals its extraordinary capacity for renewal. As sunlight filters through gaps in the canopy, saplings rise from the fertile soil, and mosses and fungi colonize fallen logs, setting the stage for a new generation of life. In these pockets of regrowth, the return of elusive mammals, the songs of rare birds, and the hum of pollinators signal the forest's resilience. Amphibians emerge after the rains, and vines reclaim the scars of the past, weaving new connections in the tapestry of life. The forest's recovery is guided by natural processes, seeds dispersed by wind and water, fungi breaking down dead wood, and the slow rebuilding of soil communities. Each stage of regrowth brings new opportunities for species to recolonize and for ecological networks to re-establish themselves. The Amazon's mysteries continue to unfold. Each year, new species of fungi, orchids, insects, and fish are revealed, their unique adaptations offering hope for the future and underscoring the importance of every remaining fragment of forest. The Amazon's living laboratory is a source of endless discovery. From the iridescent wings of butterflies to the intricate webs of spiders and the hidden reservoirs of bromeliads, each organism plays a role in the forest's ongoing story of survival and adaptation. Natural regeneration is a powerful force. In clearings left by fallen giants, saplings compete for light and mosses reclaim the ground. Over time, these patches mature into complex multi-layered forests, restoring the cycles of carbon, water, and nutrients. The expansion of green corridors and protected reserves allows the forest to heal on a landscape scale. These connected habitats enable the movement of species, the flow of genes, and the restoration of ecological processes that sustain the Amazon's diversity. The smallest inhabitants are the architects of renewal. Leafcutter ants cultivate underground gardens, termites recycle nutrients, and bees and hummingbirds pollinate the next generation of trees and flowers, ensuring the continuity of life. The ancient trees and their vast root systems are the foundation of the Amazon's resilience. They stabilize riverbanks, store carbon, and provide shelter for countless species, anchoring the ecosystem through cycles of disturbance and renewal. The Amazon's vast expanse acts as a planetary climate regulator. Its trees absorb and store immense quantities of carbon, while the forest's transpiration generates clouds and rainfall, sustaining life far beyond its borders. The Amazon's future remains uncertain, yet its capacity for renewal offers hope. Through the cycles of disturbance and regrowth, the forest demonstrates a profound resilience, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, life finds a way to endure and flourish. The Amazon's story is one of fragility and strength, a living testament to the power of nature's persistence. Beneath the endless emerald canopy, the Amazon conceals a labyrinth of water, an intricate network of rivers, streams, and flooded forests that pulse with life, unseen by most eyes. Here, water is not merely a feature of the landscape. It is the architect of entire worlds, sculpting habitats of astonishing complexity and beauty. The Amazon River, a colossal artery, weaves through the heart of the rainforest, its tributaries branching like veins into the green expanse. Each year, the river's rise transforms millions of hectares of forest into a vast, submerged realm, where the boundaries between land and water dissolve. Within these flooded forests, two distinct aquatic worlds emerge: the sunlit Vasia, nourished by sediment-rich waters, and the shadowy Igapo, where black water streams flow silently among ancient trunks. Each supports a unique tapestry of life, shaped by the chemistry and rhythm of the flood. For months, towering trees stand rooted in water, their bark stained by tannins and their roots entwined with aquatic plants. Mosses and epiphytes cling to their branches, thriving in the humid, filtered light above the water's surface. Beneath the surface, a silent ballet unfolds. Armored catfish and knife-shaped ghost knife fish slip between submerged roots, while the rare, iridescent discus fish glides through dappled light. Pink river dolphins, masters of this flooded maze, use echolocation to hunt among the tangled branches. In the murky depths, electric eels generate powerful bursts of electricity to stun prey and communicate, while the colossal arapaima, armored in metallic scales, surfaces with a gasp to breathe air, a relic of ancient evolutionary paths. The diversity here is staggering. Tiny neon tetras flash like living jewels, while predatory piranhas patrol the shadows. Over 2,000 species of fish, many found nowhere else, have evolved to exploit every niche, from swift currents to still, oxygen-poor pools. The river's pulse is relentless and unpredictable. Torrents carve new channels, uproot trees, and deposit rich silt, constantly reshaping the aquatic landscape. Islands form and vanish, creating ephemeral habitats for specialized species. Blackwater streams, stained by decaying leaves, flow with crystal clarity and low nutrients. Here, unique communities of fish and invertebrates have adapted to the acidic, mineral-poor environment, including the delicate splashed tetra, which lays its eggs on overhanging leaves above the water. In contrast, whitewater rivers surge with sediment and nutrients, fueling explosive blooms of plankton and supporting dense shoals of filter-feeding fish. These waters are the engine of productivity, sustaining countless aquatic and terrestrial species. Floating meadows of water hyacinth and grasses drift across the floodplain, forming mobile sanctuaries for aquatic insects, amphibians, and rare reptiles like the black caiman. These floating islands are nurseries for young fish and amphibians shielded from larger predators. The aquatic habitats of the Amazon are mosaics of light and shadow, movement and stillness, each microhabitat supporting its own rare and specialized life forms. Along the water's edge, secretive creatures emerge at dusk. The Amazonian manatee, gentle and elusive, grazes on submerged grasses, while the giant river otter, a top predator, hunts in coordinated family groups, their calls echoing across the water. In the tangled roots, the rare Amazonian leaf fish, perfectly camouflaged, ambushes unsuspecting prey, while the armored mata-mata turtle lies motionless, its bizarre appearance blending seamlessly with the debris-laden bottom. High in the canopy above the water, the harlequin toad descends to breed in ephemeral pools, its vibrant colors a warning to would-be predators of its potent toxins. Yet these hidden waterworlds are fragile, their intricate balance easily disrupted by even subtle changes in water chemistry, flow, or temperature. When the natural flood pulse is altered, entire communities of aquatic life can collapse as breeding cycles and food webs unravel. Pollution and invasive species threaten to erase the delicate distinctions between these aquatic worlds, endangering rare species that depend on precise conditions for survival. The fate of these water worlds is entwined with the forest itself, each nourishing and sustaining the other in a cycle as old as the river's flow. In the golden light, the surface shimmers with promise, a living mirror reflecting the astonishing diversity below. Every drop, every current, every hidden pool is a testament to the Amazon's power to create and sustain life in forms both familiar and utterly alien. As scientists continue to explore these aquatic labyrinths, new species and ecological marvels are revealed, reminders of how much remains undiscovered in the world's greatest river system. In the Amazon, water and forest are not separate realms, but two halves of a single living masterpiece, each dependent on the other for its survival and splendor. To protect these mysterious, vibrant waterworlds is to safeguard the very heart of the Amazon, ensuring that its rarest wonders endure for generations yet to come. As twilight descends upon the Amazon, the forest undergoes a profound metamorphosis. The air thickens with anticipation, and the last rays of sunlight slip beneath the canopy, ushering in a world ruled by shadows and subtlety. As the vibrant chorus of diurnal creatures fades, a new symphony emerges, one composed of clicks, trills, and rustlings. The Amazon's nocturnal inhabitants are specialists, each equipped with extraordinary adaptations to navigate the darkness. In the dim light, eyeshine becomes a common sight, retinas reflecting the faintest glimmers, allowing animals to detect movement and shape where human vision fails. The forest's architecture itself changes, as vines and branches cast elongated shadows that conceal and reveal in equal measure. Nightjars and potus, masters of stillness, remain nearly invisible on their perches, their cryptic plumage a perfect match for the mottled bark and lichen. These birds rely on their uncanny camouflage not only to evade predators, but also to ambush unsuspecting insects drawn by the moonlight. Their haunting, ventriloquial calls drift through the darkness, each note a territorial claim and a lure for mates, yet almost impossible to pinpoint in the dense night air. Above, the sky teems with bats, over 150 species, each exploiting a unique ecological niche. Their wings slice silently through the humid air, orchestrating a nightly exodus from roosts hidden in hollow trees and caves. Fruit bats, with elongated snouts and keen olfactory senses, locate ripe fruit by scent, dispersing seeds across vast distances and shaping the very structure of the forest. Nectar-feeding bats hover with precision, their tongues perfectly adapted to extract nectar from night-blooming flowers, pollinating plants that depend on darkness for reproduction. Meanwhile, predatory bats like the spectral bat use sophisticated echolocation to hunt frogs and small birds, their calls bouncing off leaves and prey alike. On the forest floor, armadillos emerge, their armor-like shells a defense against nocturnal predators. They root through the leaf litter, using sensitive snouts to detect insects and grubs hidden beneath the surface. Their foraging aerates the soil, subtly influencing nutrient cycles and the microhabitats of countless invertebrates. Night monkeys, or owl monkeys, are the only truly nocturnal primates in the Americas. Their oversized eyes, packed with rod cells, maximize light capture, granting them exceptional night vision. These primates communicate with a repertoire of soft hoots and chirps, coordinating movements and maintaining social bonds as they forage for fruit, leaves, and insects. Their agility in the tangled understory is unmatched, leaping between branches with silent precision to avoid detection by predators. Amphibians seize the cool, humid hours, their permeable skin thriving in the night's moisture. Glass frogs, nearly invisible except for their emerald outlines and translucent bellies, cling to leaves above streams, their calls a delicate chorus that signals territory and readiness to mate. Giant cane toads, armored with toxic skin, emerge to hunt insects and small vertebrates, their movements slow but deliberate. The night pulses with the rhythmic croaks and chirrups of countless frog species, each with a unique call that prevents hybridization and ensures successful reproduction. Some frogs synchronize their calls in waves, creating a rolling soundscape that confuses predators and maximizes mating opportunities. Predators, too, are shaped by the night. The ocelot, a solitary and elusive feline, glides through the undergrowth, its dappled coat breaking up its outline in the moonlight. With padded paws and acute senses, it stalks rodents, birds, and reptiles, relying on stealth and patience. Its camouflage is so effective that even the sharpest eyes may overlook its presence until it moves. The ocelot's acute hearing allows it to detect the faintest rustle, and its night vision is adapted to the low-light conditions of the forest floor. In the flooded margins, the black caiman reigns supreme. This apex predator glides silently through the water, its nostrils and eyes just above the surface. Its eyes, adapted to gather every available photon, glow eerily in the darkness as it waits in ambush for fish, birds, or mammals that approach the water's edge. Adaptation is the currency of survival in this world. Every organism, from the smallest insect to the largest predator, is finely tuned to the rhythms of night. Bioluminescent fungi illuminate fallen logs, their glow a byproduct of chemical reactions that signal decay and attract insects, which in turn disperse spores and aid decomposition. Insects employ light and illusion. Luminous click beetles flash to deter predators or attract mates, while owl butterflies rest with wings closed, their false eye spots mimicking the gaze of larger animals. The Amazon's nocturnal world is a living laboratory of innovation where every sense is heightened and every behavior is a response to the challenges of darkness. Interactions are subtle but vital. Predators and prey locked in a perpetual dance, pollinators and plants engaged in mutualistic exchanges, decomposers recycling the forest's bounty. The forest's heartbeat continues, pulsing with life and energy long after the sun has vanished, sustained by the intricate web of nocturnal activity. In these shadows, the Amazon's mysteries only deepen. Each nightfall unveils a hidden world, where survival is an art and every adaptation tells a story of resilience and ingenuity. Here, night is not an end, but a beginning, a time when the unseen thrives, and the forest's most remarkable secrets are written in darkness. As the first rays of dawn filter through the emerald canopy, the Amazon awakens to reveal a living tapestry where plants are not merely background, they are the architects and engineers of this vast ecosystem. In this realm, botanical rarities thrive in niches carved by millions of years of evolution. From the forest floor to the highest emergent branches, each plant species has adapted to survive in a world of fierce competition for sunlight, nutrients, and space. The Victoria amazonica, the world's largest water lily, dominates the still waters of oxbow lakes. Its leaves, spanning up to 3 meters, are reinforced with a lattice of ribs, allowing them to support the weight of small animals and resist the pressure of rising currents. These floating giants create micro-habitats beneath their shade, offering refuge for juvenile fish and amphibians from predators. Their night-blooming flowers, which shift from white to pink, emit a powerful fragrance that attracts beetles, ensuring pollination in a delicate nocturnal exchange. The transformation of the Victoria Amazonica's blossoms is a marvel of timing and adaptation. On the first night, the flower is female, receptive to pollen. By the second, it becomes male, releasing pollen onto visiting beetles before closing and sinking beneath the water. Deep within the shaded understory, the Dracula orchid employs mimicry as its survival strategy. Its flowers resemble fungi in both appearance and scent, deceiving fungus gnats into acting as unwitting pollinators. In the perpetual twilight beneath the canopy, these orchids rely on the acute senses of their pollinators, using visual and olfactory cues to ensure their lineage continues in the dim, humid air. Towering above the forest, the Brazil nut tree is a keystone species, its fate intertwined with the intricate web of Amazonian life. Its immense height allows it to capture sunlight unavailable to smaller plants, while its deep roots tap into hidden reserves of water and nutrients. The Brazil nut's reproduction depends on the strength and persistence of a single genus of orchid bee, which alone can navigate the complex structure of its blossoms to achieve pollination. Once pollinated, the tree produces massive fruits encased in shells so tough that only the agouti, a rodent with chisel-like teeth, can breach them. By burying uneaten seeds, agoutis inadvertently plant the next generation of these forest giants. This triad, tree, bee, and rodent, forms a closed loop of mutual dependence, a testament to the Amazon's intricate ecological choreography. In the fleeting pools left by receding floods, the diminutive Nymphaea amazonum water lily emerges. Its rapid life cycle is synchronized with the rhythm of the rains, allowing it to flower, set seed, and vanish before the waters dry up. The roots of these lilies anchor the shifting mud, reducing erosion and providing stability for other aquatic plants. Their blossoms offer a brief but vital food source for specialized insects adapted to these transient habitats. Many Amazonian plants remain shrouded in mystery, their unique adaptations and chemical compositions only beginning to be understood by science. Some species, like the poison dart tree, produce alkaloids and toxins that deter herbivores and pathogens, while others synthesize compounds with remarkable medicinal potential, from anti-inflammatory agents to novel antibiotics. The heliconia, with its vivid bracts and intricate flower structures, has co-evolved with hummingbirds, offering nectar in exchange for precise pollination. This relationship shapes the diversity and distribution of both plant and bird species across the forest. Yet, even these marvels are not immune to adversity. Disease, competition, and shifting environmental conditions threaten their survival, sometimes before their secrets are fully revealed. Deforestation, altered rainfall patterns, and rising temperatures disrupt the delicate balance, pushing many rare species toward extinction and unraveling the ecological networks they sustain. The Amazon's botanical rarities are not just survivors, they are innovators, each with a unique strategy for thriving in one of the world's most challenging environments. Their forms, colors, and chemistries are blueprints for resilience and adaptation. In every root that grips the soil, every leaf that captures sunlight, and every flower that beckons a pollinator, the story of the Amazon's rarest plants unfolds, a story of ingenuity, interdependence, and the enduring power of life to persist against all odds. In the heart of the Amazon, rare plants stand as silent witnesses to a phenomenon that defines this vast wilderness, the annual flood pulse, a force so immense it reshapes the very fabric of life beneath the emerald canopy. Each year the Amazon River swells with the memory of distant rains, its serpentine channels expanding outward, swallowing the forest floor in a slow, inexorable embrace. Unlike the crisp transitions of temperate forests, the Amazon seasons are measured not by temperature, but by the rhythm of rising and falling water, a cycle that brings both chaos and opportunity. As the river overflows, the landscape is transformed. Dry forest becomes a vast, shimmering expanse, where the boundaries between land and water dissolve. Torrential rains in the Andes send torrents of water coursing down ancient slopes, feeding tributaries that converge in the lowlands, amplifying the Amazon's pulse until it surges beyond its banks. The river's expansion is relentless, submerging entire forests for months at a time, creating a world where trees stand rooted in water and sunlight dapples the surface in shifting patterns. From above, the canopy appears as a mosaic of green islands adrift in a silver sea, while below, the submerged forest teems with life adapting to this aquatic transformation. These seasonal wetlands become the largest of their kind on Earth, a dynamic habitat where aquatic and terrestrial worlds merge. Trees, some towering over 30 meters, endure months with their trunks and roots submerged, their bark evolving to resist rot, and their roots forming intricate networks that anchor them against the current. These submerged roots become sanctuaries for countless aquatic species. Catfish, armored knifefish, and electric eels weave through the labyrinth, seeking shelter and spawning grounds. As the waters rise, vast schools of fish migrate into the inundated forest, exploiting new feeding grounds rich with organic debris and fallen fruits. Specialized species, like the tambaki, have evolved powerful jaws to crack open hard seeds, dispersing them as they feed, while others gorge on the bounty of soft fruits floating in the current. River dolphins navigate the maze of submerged trunks with uncanny precision, their flexible necks and acute echolocation allowing them to hunt in the dappled underwater twilight, while manatees graze on aquatic plants that flourish in the nutrient-rich floodwaters. For terrestrial wildlife, the flood is a test of ingenuity. Some animals retreat to higher ground, while others, like iguanas and rodents, take to the trees, their movements dictated by the ever-changing waterline. Capuchin monkeys leap between the highest branches, foraging for insects and fruit, while sloths cling motionless to the canopy, conserving energy as their world is reduced to a leafy refuge above the flood. The treetops become crowded sanctuaries where competition for food and space intensifies and only the most adaptable survive. Jaguars, apex predators of the flooded forest, adapt their hunting strategies, prowling isolated patches of dry land and swimming between islands, their powerful limbs propelling them through the water in pursuit of prey. As the waters recede, jaguars exploit the exposed mudflats, tracking weakened animals and fish stranded in shrinking pools, their keen senses attuned to the shifting landscape. The retreating flood leaves behind a layer of nutrient-rich silt, rejuvenating the soil and fueling a surge of plant growth that quickly cloaks the forest floor in vibrant green. Grazing animals emerge to feast on the tender shoots, their movements orchestrated by the patchwork of new growth, while the air fills with the calls of birds drawn to the abundance. Parrots, toucans, and cotingas gather in riotous flocks, their plumage flashing through the canopy as they exploit the brief window of plenty. Yet, this intricate cycle is finely balanced. The timing and extent of the flood dictate the success of countless species, each attuned to subtle cues in water level and rainfall. A delayed flood or an unusually dry season can spell disaster. Riverbeds crack, aquatic nurseries vanish, and the delicate choreography of life is thrown into disarray. Fish migrations falter, amphibians are stranded, and the breeding cycles of countless creatures are interrupted, rippling through the ecosystem in unpredictable ways. The flood's arrival signals turtles to lay eggs on newly exposed banks, while fish synchronize their spawning to the inundation, ensuring their young have access to the nutrient-rich waters. Trees, too, have evolved to release seeds that float, carried by the current to distant shores where new forests may take root. Some of the Amazon's rarest plants have adapted to flower only as the waters recede, their blooms timed to attract pollinators in the brief interlude between flood and drought. Others thrive in the saturated soils left behind, their roots drawing sustenance from the mineral-rich sediment deposited by the flood. In these fleeting moments, sunlight penetrates the canopy, igniting a burst of photosynthesis that fuels the next generation of growth. The Amazon's flood pulse is a masterwork of ecological engineering, its timing and magnitude orchestrating the lives of millions of species in a perpetual cycle of renewal and adaptation. Yet as the climate shifts and rainfall patterns grow erratic, the ancient rhythm of flood and retreat faces unprecedented challenges. Water levels fluctuate unpredictably, stressing trees and disrupting the synchrony that has evolved over millennia. Still, the Amazon endures, its resilience forged in the crucible of constant transformation, its inhabitants shaped by the demands of a world in flux. The floods, though destructive, are also the architects of diversity, carving new channels, depositing fresh soil, and resetting the stage for evolution's endless dance. From the silt and debris, new life emerges, green shoots piercing the mud, signaling the start of another cycle. Every species, from the smallest insect to the mightiest predator, is woven into this living tapestry, their survival dependent on their ability to adapt to the flood's ebb and flow. In the Amazon, permanence is an illusion. Change is the only constant, and transformation is the promise that endures. With each flood, the rainforest is reborn, its story rewritten in water and light, resilience and renewal. Every season, the Amazon unveils a new chapter, one of adaptation, survival, and the ceaseless interplay between land and water. Here, survival is a delicate dance with the elements, choreographed by the timeless rhythm of the flood. And in this ever-shifting world, the fate of all who dwell here is bound to the ancient life-giving pulse of water and land. Beneath the endless expanse of emerald leaves, the Amazon rainforest orchestrates a symphony of atmospheric and ecological processes that reach far beyond its borders. Each year, the Amazon cycles more water than any other terrestrial ecosystem on Earth, with its rivers and floodplains acting as arteries that pulse with life-giving moisture. The forest's vast surface area intercepts sunlight and rainfall, creating a humid microclimate that sustains a continuous exchange of energy and water between land and sky. Through photosynthesis, billions of leaves absorb carbon dioxide, transforming it into organic matter and releasing oxygen, a process that not only fuels the forest's growth, but also moderates atmospheric carbon levels. Carbon is sequestered deep within the trunks, branches, and roots of towering trees, where it can remain locked away for centuries, buffering the planet against the relentless rise of greenhouse gases. The intricate root networks stabilize the soil, preventing erosion and facilitating the slow decomposition of organic matter, which further enriches the earth and stores additional carbon. This immense carbon reservoir acts as a planetary thermostat, absorbing excess atmospheric carbon and mitigating the pace of global warming. The Amazon's ability to function as a carbon sink is unparalleled, with its dense biomass capturing more carbon than any other forest on Earth. Through transpiration, the forest releases vast quantities of water vapor, which rise to form thick clouds that blanket the region and reflect solar radiation, cooling the surface below. These clouds not only regulate local temperatures, but also drive powerful convection currents, influencing wind patterns and precipitation far beyond the Amazon basin. The atmospheric river, generated by the Amazon's evaporation, carries moisture thousands of kilometers, nourishing distant ecosystems and stabilizing weather systems across continents. Rainfall originating in the Amazon sustains vast tracts of land, ensuring the persistence of forests, grasslands, and wetlands far from the rainforest itself. Moisture-laden winds ascend mountain ranges and descend upon distant valleys, shaping the hydrological cycles of entire continents. The Amazon's unseen breath moderates temperature extremes, dampens droughts, and buffers the impacts of heat waves, acting as a stabilizing force in the global climate system. Its rainfall patterns replenish river systems, recharge aquifers, and maintain the delicate balance of freshwater resources across South America. The Amazon's atmospheric influence extends across oceans, subtly altering jet streams and monsoon cycles as far away as North America and Africa. Yet, this intricate equilibrium is fragile. When the forest is disrupted, the consequences reverberate through the atmosphere and biosphere alike. Loss of tree cover diminishes the forest's capacity to absorb carbon and generate rainfall, weakening its role as a climate regulator and amplifying the effects of global warming. As the forest recedes, the land becomes more vulnerable to temperature extremes, erratic rainfall, and prolonged droughts, conditions that further accelerate forest loss. Scientists warn that surpassing a critical threshold could trigger a cascade of feedbacks, where reduced rainfall and increased heat drive widespread dieback. In this scenario, once lush forests wither, soils dry and crack, and the region's ability to store carbon collapses. The transformation from rainforest to savanna would release vast stores of carbon, intensifying global climate change and altering weather patterns worldwide. Increased atmospheric carbon would drive further warming, while shifting rainfall could disrupt ecosystems and water supplies across the globe. The fate of countless species, each adapted to the rainforest's unique climate, would hang in the balance, as would the stability of Earth's climate system. The Amazon's role as a climate regulator is irreplaceable. Its atmospheric processes, carbon cycling, and hydrological influence are woven into the very fabric of the planet's environmental health. Only by maintaining the integrity of this vast interconnected system can the Amazon continue to shield the world from the most severe impacts of climate change. The preservation of the Amazon is not merely a regional concern. It is a global imperative, essential for the stability of Earth's climate and the resilience of its ecosystems. In the Amazon's living tapestry, the threads of atmosphere, water, and carbon are tightly interwoven, forming a shield that protects the planet's future. As dawn breaks over the endless canopy, the Amazon stands as a silent guardian, its invisible reach shaping the destiny of Earth's climate for generations to come. Gap 2s, beneath the dense carpet of fallen leaves and tangled roots, an unseen kingdom thrives, one that is as vital to the rainforest as the towering trees above. The Amazon's fungi, ranging from vibrant mushrooms to microscopic filaments, form intricate networks that bind the forest together in ways both subtle and profound. Hidden from sight, mycelial threads weave through the soil, connecting roots, decomposing wood, and recycling life's essential elements. Each decaying log becomes a bustling metropolis for countless fungal species, their fruiting bodies sprouting in an array of shapes and colors, delicate coral fungi, glowing bioluminescent caps, and the enigmatic, veiled lady mushrooms. These organisms are the forest's master recyclers. They break down tough cellulose and lignin, unlocking nutrients that would otherwise remain trapped in dead matter. Through this ceaseless decomposition, fungi transform fallen giants into fertile soil, nourishing the next generation of trees and plants. But the role of fungi extends far beyond decay. Deep underground, mycorrhizal fungi forge symbiotic alliances with plant roots, exchanging minerals and water for life-giving sugars. These hidden partnerships knit the forest into a living web, allowing trees to share resources, warn each other of threats, and even support struggling saplings. In some areas, a single fungal network can connect dozens of tree species, blurring the boundaries between individual plants and the greater forest community. Some fungi play a darker role, acting as silent predators. Parasitic species infiltrate insects, manipulating their behavior before consuming them from within. Others produce potent chemicals that deter herbivores or outcompete rival microbes, shaping the invisible battles that unfold beneath the forest floor. The Amazon's fungal diversity is staggering. Thousands of species, many still unknown to science, each adapted to a unique ecological niche. Some thrive only in the moist gloom of the forest floor, while others ascend high into the canopy, colonizing bark and leaves in the filtered sunlight. Together, they form the foundation of the rainforest's nutrient cycles, supporting the astonishing abundance of life above. In the eternal twilight, beneath the trees, the Amazon's fungi labor in silence, engineers, caretakers, and silent sentinels of the green world. Their hidden handiwork sustains the forest's endless renewal, forging connections that ensure the survival of the most complex ecosystem on Earth.